All right, welcome to this example here where we're going to be taking a look at how can we prove sine law, and we're going to use multi-triangle problems and our trig ratios, specifically sine ratio, in order to come up with what is sine law and how can we use it. Let's start off with a triangle as we have right here. So we want to solve this triangle. We have the triangle labeled, and you'll notice that we have A, B, and C as our three angles, and little a, little b, and little c as our three sides. Each of the sides is across from the angle. So you'll notice like angle A is there on the right-hand side. Side A is on the left-hand side. It's across from. And we'll notice as well that the bigger the angle, the bigger the side that is associated with it, okay, with that same level. So what we want to do is we want to solve this triangle. Now, like I said, I'm going to start off with a multi-triangle process. And so we're going to split up this triangle into two right angle triangles by putting little letter D there at the bottom, which meets at a 90-degree angle with angle B or vertex B. Okay, so we have this line right here. So now you'll notice that we have two right angle triangles. We got kind of a smaller one there on the left-hand side and a bigger one there on the right-hand side. All right, so let's solve this here. We're going to use our sine ratio to solve for line BD. So we want to figure out what is the length of BD, okay, or at least how can we solve for it, and we're going to use our sine ratio for it. Step number one, we need to label it, okay, which we always do. And so we have our hypotenuse is A, our adjacent is on the bottom, and then our opposite is that line BD. We are solving for the opposite side given angle C and our hypotenuse A, because we're using sine law, that is what we're going to use. So sine theta, we know that is opposite over hypotenuse. We're going to plug in our values. We're using angle C. We're solving for side BD, and we're given side A. Now, I want to solve for BD, so I'm going to multiply both sides by A, and line segment BD, okay, that center piece right there, is equal to sine C times A. So sine C times A. Now again, we don't have numbers in here, and that's okay, but we know that sine C times A will give us that line segment. Now, let's move on to part two, and if you don't understand that quite yet, that's okay. We're going to get into it right away. Let's do it from the other side. So we have our hypotenuse, adjacent, and opposite. Now I've written them in blue, and this is for our right side triangle there. And again, we're going to solve for BD using angle A and our hypotenuse again. That's line segment C. So we plug those two values in and solve for BD. Sine of A times little c is equal to line segment BD. So now we've gone about in two different ways using two different angles and two different sides in order to solve for that segment. Now again, we don't have the numbers, but that's okay. We know that we have found two lines, equations, this one and this one, in order to figure out the length of BD. Because they are trying to solve for the same length, we know that sine C times A and sine A times C have to be equal to the same thing. So in other words, we can write it out like this. They are equal to the same thing, so we can just put them together like that. Not quite done yet. We want to go one step further. We want to move a couple pieces over. So we're actually going to divide both sides by sine A and by sine C. And I'm going to do it exactly like this here. Now, sine A over sine A is going to cancel out. Sine C over sine C, going to cancel out. And what we're left with is something that looks like this. Line C over sine of angle C is equal to A over sine of big A. And on exactly the same note, the B's work like that as well. We have equivalent ratios when we compare the angle and the side using our sine ratio, and this right here is sine law. So sine law looks like this. Now you can also flip them if you really want to, and that's totally fine. But this is what sine law looks like, and it will, if we know three pieces of information, okay, so when using sine law, two of the three ratios are going to be used, three of the four pieces of information will be given, and we will be able to solve for the fourth one. That is sine law. Okay, I hope that has kind of explained some things as well. Gladly look through some of the other videos. I will have some examples of how to use sine law in there, and then you can kind of go from there and use those examples. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the day.